Hello everyone. So, welcome to the class of business to business marketing. In the last lecture we were discussing about positioning and its importance, right. So, we understood that positioning is a method where the marketer tries to occupy a space in the mind of the consumer, right. And why this is required? As we discussed that there are several products and services in the one product or service category, right. So, for example, when I say cars, so you might there can be several brands of cars that you can think of, right. When I say about watches, there can be several kinds of watches that you can think of. Similarly, when you talk about softwares, when you talk about heavy machinery, when you talk about let us say chemicals. So, there are several different companies, different even with their brands that are present in the market. So, how would one company uh, create a crystal clear position, or how can it make itself unique in the market? So, to do this, a proper communication strategy is required, and through this communication strategy the marketer tries to you know clearly position or clearly occupy a space in the consumer's mind, right. And we also learnt in the last lecture that the human mind has certain limitations, right. So, obviously, because of this limited space in the human mind tries to generally reject those items or those logos, symbols, names, etc., which they do not recognize or they have seen it for very few times maybe, and they tend to accept more those items which they have knowledge about it, which we call as selective retention, right. So, now today let us start with some examples. So, if you when I say Audi for example, so the kind of positioning that Audi has made itself for itself is like a luxury status symbol. So, a Audi car means luxury for us. Similarly, when we say Tata, the positioning kind of positioning that we can think of is a trusted source. So, any Tata product people feel oh, it is very trusted because it is from Tata, right. When we talk about faster delivery, the name that comes is FedEx, right. When you talk about Microsoft, the kind of positioning that they have made is a user friendly image, right. So, Microsoft won over most of its competitors just because they had that advantage of being user friendly. And when you talk about Apple or companies like Intel, they are the most innovative companies, right. So, every company that we can see here are the ones which are the largest companies or very popular companies, successful companies. Somewhere or the other they have created positioning statements for themselves and even for individual brands which makes them special, right. So, the question here is what kind of different positioning strategies do generally companies adopt? Okay. So, few positioning strategies that company adopt can be, for example, attribute positioning, benefit positioning, cost or price based positioning, right, segment wise positioning and application wise positioning. You can even think of a few more, you can use your logic, your brain to think over it, but these are generally some few kinds of strategies that generally companies use, right. So, if you look at attribute positioning for example, just an example what I have given is some companies can claim to as suppliers of entire range of products. Now, when I say a company like in India, Mothers and Sumi for example, right. Now, they are producers and they are component suppliers to automotive companies, right, auto companies for almost the entire range, right. They have a wide range of products. Now, electrical for example, Havels when I say or Bajaj Electricals, the name when I say. So, these companies have a vast range of products in the electrical product category. Similarly, somebody has a somebody can position itself as the largest capacity machine producer, right. So, if somebody wants a company can position itself as the largest or the biggest machine producer or with a fastest highest output that it can produce. In terms of those it can also position itself. In terms of benefit also companies do position, and especially you find this in the B2B market, right. So, since B2B market is a rational market, people would like to know, the buyers would like to know what kind of benefit are we going to get out of this supplier's product. So, here the supplier can supply, can position itself, its products in terms of, for example, energy saving products, or let us say products which are pollution free products. Or today also you can see even companies are getting more deeper. So, they are talking about how you can create new products by utilizing our products or our services. So, this can be some kind of benefits that the buyer would generate by utilizing these products. So, this kind of positioning when a supplier makes or a manufacturer makes is called benefit positioning. Okay. So, what benefit is the buyer getting, so that is how the positioning is to be done. Now, companies like, for example, when it comes to Siemens and all, they do a benefit positioning because the or ABB, the companies understand that the buyer understands by using Siemens products we get a lot of benefit out of it, right, in a long time period. In terms of price and cost also, the company can position itself. Now, for example, you can see low cost per unit of output. Now, the company says we are producers and suppliers at the lowest cost. Now, Tata Steel became the lowest cost steel producer in the world, right. Now, that is something that it became a positioning statement for Tata Steel, right. Similarly, cost of ownership. Now, somebody can bargain, that some companies can position themselves in the way that they say that by utilizing our product or by using our product, your there would be very few breakdowns, there would be very few maintenance issues. So, there is hardly any maintenance cost, there is hardly any breakdown or cost, there is zero defect. So, initially my product may be costly, but in the long run you are going to benefit out of it, gain out of it, and that will lead you to a low cost. Okay. So, this kind of positioning also companies sometimes do, right. So, here you can see this small a diagram where it says low cost strategies. Sometimes company try to position themselves as a low cost producer, or sometimes they want to differentiate in terms of some other factors like their quality, their service. Okay. And these are some ways there where companies, they talks about the best cost strategy. So, the companies try to understand that the supplier, the buyer would consider my product on basis of its cost or price. So, they position themselves accordingly. Okay. Segment positioning. So, for example, some banks they position themselves as a farmers bank. Now, rural banks, rural cooperative banks, Grameen banks in India, for example, they position themselves as the farmers bank or the poor man's bank, right. And similarly, there can be certain products which can be positioned as a low weight and heavy weight products. For example, low weight, for example, somebody says we are very sturdy and low weight. So, in terms of, because the weight is low and all, that saves the logistics cost and other things. And in certain products companies try to position themselves as the is a strong durable product, right. So, where we are talking about high quality, strong, or terms of durability. So, accordingly we also look for segmenting the market and positioning our product accordingly. In terms of application, sometimes companies say we offer the complete solution. Now, IBM says complete solution, we provide complete solution, right. L&T says we offer complete solutions in a turnkey project, right. We from the smallest details to the completely commissioning the plant, right. So, when you talk about a complete solution, certain companies position themselves as a complete solution provider. So, by doing this, what happens, certain buyers or agencies, they would love to have to be a part of this company because they do not have any headache. It might cost a bit more, but at least there is no tension for them, and the supplier is completely giving them a 100% solution. On the other hand, it can be possible that a company specializes in a particular department, in a particular product, in a particular process, and it says we exclusively are good at this. For example, somebody, a medical device manufacturer now says that we make exclusively products for for let us say ECG products, or for testing the condition of people's heart, right, the cardiac problems. So, we only make deal with this kind of products. So, when you talk about this exclusivity, right, so people who, for medical hospitals and medical nursing homes and all, who want to only cater to such kind of let us say patients and all, they would love to have a deal with companies who are exclusively working with machines and devices which are working only for these cardiac patients. So, in such situation, the application becomes an important way the companies can position themselves. Finally, one more way that companies do position themselves, although it is less talked about, is, for example, when Tata Indica came the first time, we learned that it was the first indigenously developed car in India, right, in the sense that even the design, which is generally done outside, the design of the car was also done in India itself, right. So, by the Indians. So, what happened, so this was a kind of positioning that the brand did, right. Sometimes you must have heard, this is this product originates from Italy, this product it is the origin, the country of origin is Japan, the country of origin is let us say Germany. So, Germany is famous for engineering, Japan is for technology, for example, technology devices, let us say US is more into services. So, and today India is positioned itself as the IT provider, IT or ITS solution providers. So, when you are dealing, this kind of positioning is also a very popular way of positioning, and companies do gain because of their origin, where they come from, right. So, this kind of positioning also is possible. Now, we talk about something called a positioning map. Now, what is a positioning map? Now, this is something called perceptual mapping. Now, perceptual mapping or market mapping is a representation, a diagrammatic representation which marketers use to understand or visually see, or what people feel, how customers perceived, or customers perceived their products to be. Now, for example, look at this diagram. Now, if you can see, there are two important parameters. One is quality, which is high and low quality, and price, which is low, and expensive, which is high. Now, if you can look at the the competitor's product, dark blue is competitor's product, right, and green is your product that the company is manufacturing, and this is the potential market gap, which is the light blue. So, by doing such kind of maps, creating such kind of maps that can be between quality and price, quality and service, service and price, service and so new product offerings, what happens is the companies are in a position to understand that where exactly the customers feel they are. Now, for example, this company, let us say your product now is coming here, that means it is slightly towards the low price, slightly towards the low price. So, this is the midpoint, right. So, slightly towards the low price, and in terms of quality it is somewhere in again neutral. So, it is a neutral kind of a situation you are in, price is neutral, and also your position is neutral in terms of quality, price is slightly towards the lower side. Okay. Where are the competitors? Now, the major competitor, this is the as per the size of the circle you can understand. So, the largest competitor is somewhere here, whose quality is slightly higher and price is also higher than yours. Or there can be some other competitors who are low priced, and this is a small competitor at a very high price, at high quality it goes for. So, by understanding this, the marketer can now think of a situation by looking at its competitors and the gaps that is available. So, there is large gap, or potential market gap available here, here and here. So, which is best suited for it? The marketer can think about it and slowly either develop a product or reposition its product accordingly, right. But developing a new product is especially beneficial while catering to this potential market gaps. Okay. Now, what are the steps? When you are writing a positioning statements, you have to remember that while everybody can make a positioning statement for a for your company, brand, whatever. Suppose you have a startup, you can think of a positioning statement for yourself. If you have not made it, then it is time for you to make. Now, how do you make a positioning statement? So, obviously these are some steps which you have to follow. So, while making a positioning statement, first step is creating a vision board. Now, what is a vision board? Now, as you know that while making a positioning statement, you do not give any images or any you do not show any logos, symbols, anything, right. So, what you do is you are writing something. So, while writing the statement, who you have to understand, like who is my target group, what is my vision first of all, like what is the purpose of creating this product, and what is the change this product will bring about in my suppliers or in my buyers and customers, and who is my target group, what needs do they have, what kind of product is this that would cater to the needs of my buyers, and what is the business goal do I have. Now, by understanding, by looking at this vision board, so even while creating a vision board, you try to imagine a situation, right. You try to display, make a display where you are trying to see who is your customer, how does he live, where does he live, who is his neighbor, where does he stay, how does he make use of your product. So, you kind of it is kind of a vision, right, a vision board that you make, right. Then keep in mind that when you make a positioning statement, it should be brief, it should be brief and try to make it unique and memorable. So, sometimes very clumsy, complicated statements, they are not easy to remember, and if it is not easy to remember, people will reject your lines. They are generally, because as I have said, human minds reject difficult things and complex things, right. The next point is it should be true to the business core values. Now, for example, if my business is, let us say, catering, I am providing catering services for example. So, does my positioning statement match to the core values of my company? I am a caterer, I am into catering business, right. Now, does it match to my core business? Yes or not? So, it should be always matching to your business values, your core values of your business, right. Your positioning statement should be in a position to also deliver message to the client, what it is going to, how it is going to help them, right, and how it makes them different from their competitors. And finally, it has to be brief, it has to be simple, right. So, when you make a positioning statement, right, there are so many events happen for such kind of events where students come and participate in case study competitions and all, and they even create positioning statements for the companies, fictitious or not so fictitious fictitious companies. Now, when you do a positioning statement, please remember you have to keep in mind these points, right, and once you do keep in mind these points, it helps you to make a very effective point. And finally, you can also check your positioning statement. You can ask to some experts, your friends and colleagues, so that they can give their opinion, and you have to accept it. If they don't appreciate your idea, maybe you have to change, and this process is an iteration process which goes on continuously goes on, right, till you get the best positioning statement that is possible. And once you have a best positioning statement that you feel, please remember that you can't change your positioning statement always. So, it is better that you work hard on it. So, this is a small exercise. Identify two companies which offers double benefit positioning and even single benefit positioning. So, and I would like to add here, try to write a positioning statement, right, a positioning statement for a new startup. So, this is an exercise I am adding, startup which is into the business of, let us say, uh, uh, furniture renting or renting furniture. So, this is, let us say, a new startup has come up, it's into the business of renting of furnitures or even selling also, renting or selling, right, selling. So, they are into the business of renting or selling. So, if you are staying for, let us say, in a city for 2 months, you can rent their kind of furniture and all these things, and you can pay some money. So, this is a company. So, kindly try to make a positioning statement for this company and try to identify also some companies which offer double benefit positioning. So, this is an exercise for you, kindly try to do it. So, this will help you in getting more clarity. Okay. Now, we will go into a case study, right. So, this is a case study we will discuss. So, what is this case study about? This is about again the segmentation, targeting and positioning strategy. Okay. Now, this company's name is Govind Doors Private Limited, and here Arun Kumar is the director of a company. He is not sure of what kind of target market and positioning strategies he should use in order to achieve the company's goals on sale and profitability. Okay. Arun Kumar has recently joined the family business, and after completing his graduation in electronics engineering and MBA from a reputed institute, he has joined this business. The company actually is into the manufacturing, and marketing of GTEX brand, right. So, PVC, right, polyvinyl chloride and FRP, fiber reinforced plastics. So, two things: doors suitable for bedroom, bathroom, office rooms, balconies, etc. So, what are they making? They are making one brand they have, which is GTEX brand. So, PVC doors, PVC basically doors for all kinds of bedrooms, bathrooms, etc. right. So, these non-wood based doors can be used for residential houses, institutions, hospitals and schools, and obviously as well as commercial establishments like shopping malls and multiplex. Now, what has happened? The company has segmented its market into the following segments. What are the segments the company has tried to understand? Now, the segments that the company could understand, that potential segments, is government organizations like CPWD, Central Public Works Department, which can help them in their sales. Then military and engineering services, railways, so government organizations largely. Residential complexes, right, which are being built by the builders, commercial organizations and institutions, individual house owners, retail builders, right, replacement market and fabricators. So, the 5 segments that they have thought of is these 5. Okay. Arun Kumar says, we have targeted all the above market segments for PVC and FRP doors, excepting those customers who want wooden and special doors. So, somebody who is asking for wooden doors and special doors, we are not bothered about this, we are not going to cater to these customers. He further said, our salespeople regularly contact contractors who get business from government organizations, where lowest prices and good after sales services are the key buying factors. So, those builders who are into building new complexes, houses, so at least government and residential complexes, they are meeting them and trying to get orders for their doors, right. However, when our salespeople call on builders for residential and commercial complexes, superior product quality and service are the important factors. So, the contractor says that we need very high quality doors and good service. For a large number of individual house owners, small volume replacement market and fabricators, we use indirect channel of dealers. So, they do not look for the replacement markets and fabricators, they use the indirect channels, okay, through dealers and all. So, who mostly look for low prices and delivery services for availability. Okay. Now, here Arun Kumar is thinking, now what is to be done? So, the company has established 3 sub brands, one GTEX brand, one Solidex brand, which was suitable for government firms, institutions, individual houses, right, with medium quality and medium to low prices. Then they had a brand, Fibrex brand, with high quality and high price, which was appropriate for builders and a few individual house owners. And the third brand, which is Litex, offered lower quality and low prices for replacement market and a few individual house owners. Fabricators were offered the required raw material from all the 3 sub brands, right. So, the 3 sub brands, Solidex, right, Fibrex and Litex. Okay. Three major players including Govind Doors were present in the market with almost equal market share of 20 to 25%. So, as per the case, so the three players who are present in the market, they have a 20 to 25% market share, and they are these are the three large players. Okay. The balance was shared by many small players and by the fabricators who were the rest remaining 20 to 30%, they were looking into it. Now, the company had not considered which target market strategy it should use, right. Now, they had segmented the market, but which is the target market they should be catering to or they should be targeting, they are thinking. So, Arun Kumar was not sure what should be the positioning strategy for its brand GTX. So, now neither they have a understanding of the target market and nor they have a understanding of the positioning strategy. It was important to decide these strategies since the market for PVC and FRP doors was growing extremely well at 34 to 64% per year, right, between 2016 and 20. And the competition from small players was slowly catching up with the three major players. Now, the situation is, now the questions in the case are, so you can, if you want to reread the case or re-understand the case, you can go back and look at the case, right. Now, coming to the questions, do you think it was a right decision of the company to target all the segments, or do you think it will be a right decision for the company to target all the segments? So, all the segments means government, institutions, everybody, right. What target market strategy would you suggest and why? And how would you develop a positioning strategy for the GTX brand, including its sub brands? So now these are the three questions that you have. Take a minute, think about it, and try to write your own answer, right. Okay. I have got a tentative solution which I have thought correct. So, you can always argue, you can debate, you can challenge, or you may not agree with me also. Do you think it was a right decision of the company to target all the segments, or will it be a right decision to target all the segments? No, absolutely no, right. No, it was not, or it will be not. Okay. No company can target all segments, we have understood it from before. So, therefore, it is always advisable to target the segments which you are capable to satisfy effectively. And here, since the case has not told us about the capacity of the company, how much capacity it has to produce and all. So, we will not assume anything from our side, we will assume that it is a normal company. So, obviously, if it is a normal company with a normal sized company, we will not expect that it can ever cater to all the segments. Which target market strategy would you suggest and why? Now, here what we are thinking is we will be offering a differentiated marketing strategy. So, the company may target organizations which include government and commercial institutions, since they constitute the major part of the market share. Okay. So, this is our thinking. Now, you may completely refute it, you may disagree, you may think of your own strategy, it is fine. Okay. Third last question is, how would you develop a positioning strategy for the brand, including its sub brand? Now, here we are thinking we would go for a double benefit positioning for each sub brands, right. Now, the double benefit could be lightweight doors and it could be less costly. So, lightweight less costly doors, right, could be like a double benefit, right. Now, why we are not targeting a single positioning, right? Why not only a lightweight? Because people are also conscious and price sensitive with such doors. So, we want to go for a double, right. Then some attribute positioning for GTX and cost positioning for sub brands. So these kind of strategies we would like to follow for the brand GTX and its sub brands. Okay. So, this is with this I would like to wind up this lecture, and I think this is we have come to an end for segmentation, targeting and positioning, and I think you are now in a position to understand why segmentation is important in the B2B market, how you can target the market, and whether branding and positioning is required. Should you even position your product in the B2B market, because B2B and B2C are quite different from each other. But yeah, undoubtedly we have come to a situation where we can say that there is no doubt that even B2B markets need positioning of products, because people will only remember, clients can only remember you through a positioning statement, through the way you are positioning. So, if you do not have any positioning policy or positioning statement, there is no way that somebody can exclusively remember you. So, to occupy that space in the mind of the consumer is a very important thing, right. So, when I am saying Siemens, when I am saying Audi, when I am saying let us say Tata's, the name suggests that these have companies have positioned themselves, although they might be in some kind of a customized product, they might be in customized product category, or they might be some commodity kind of product category, but still by differentiating, by positioning themselves, they have created a brand in themselves, and they have occupied the space in the mind of the consumer, right. So, with this I would like to wind up the lecture out here. So, thank you very much and stay safe. Thank you very much.